or discussion, if there's anything that you want me to go back and explain, or just have any other questions about security or the industry in general, I'm yours until basically, now until 4 o'clock. I do have a hard stop at 4, but if we don't go till 4, no harm either.
I got a question, Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
So I know how in software development, there's kind of like this gatekeeping of, oh, you don't have a computer science degree, or, if you don't have a degree, at least have some projects on your GitHub to show for it. How does that work in cybersecurity, where because of like the boom, I know they're offering bachelors in cybersecurity now, but like how, when it comes to hiring new developers, like is it mostly about the technical interview, or how is the degree viewed in that aspect?
Yeah, great question. Unfortunately, there is still gatekeeping, and it's kind of funny because I've actually been like gatekeeped too. I don't have a computer science degree. I mentioned earlier, right? I have a real estate finance degree, and I have been like auto rejected for jobs I've applied to, just because of that. And it's kind of like that first like HR gate. Like I don't think it's necessarily the hiring managers or the people who are the technical interviewers that hold that, but unfortunately, I'd be lying if I said that didn't exist, where just standard like HR systems just sift through resumes and look to make sure you have a computer science degree and reject you if you don't. What if you do get past that though? And not every company's like that, so don't feel discouraged if you don't have one. I don't have one, and I've been fine. It really does, yeah, come down to the technical interview. Do you know your stuff? I've interviewed and looked at a lot of resumes, hired in pen testers and security engineers. I can tell you the kind of stuff that I look for is either relevant work experience, but if you don't have relevant work experience, having things like a blog or Git accounts, or even just putting on there that you've participated in Hack the Box, or you've done, bug bounties, or you've done things in security, is a good way on paper to show that you've got some hands-on experience. Feel free to put this workshop on your resume. You can say that you've done OWASP Security Shepherd and OWASP workshop for all day hands-on security training. That kind of just gets you in the door, and then it really just comes down to the technical interview, depending on the level and position that you're hiring for. It's not difficult to tell if someone knows the technical stuff or not just by a few questions. I don't have any predispositions on like where you went to school or what you graduated with, because you're right, for a long time there wasn't even any security courses in school. So how are we going to judge anyone by what they learned in school? It's really about, do you have work experience? Or if you don't have work experience, do you have anything to show, just like personal projects or research or reading up, or competitions, or bug bounties or things like that.
Can I piggyback off that really quick, Ronnie?
Sure.
How often are you even like not given an interview because you don't have a a bachelor's degree in computer science or anything like that? Because I know some positions require it, and I mean, we can take a chance and like apply, but what if we're not given that opportunity? Or how often are like those interviews not even given because you don't have that degree?
I don't have an answer to that, unfortunately, because it's a very like opaque process. So I think it's happened to me before. I'm sure it's happened to people before, but then you never really know for sure either. Like, was that what stopped me from getting the interview or not, or was it something else on your resume? Um, I hope it doesn't happen that often, and like hopefully you do get interviews based on what's on your resume. Like, I'll leave you with this. I'll just say like. Wait, are we recording this, or can I throw a former employer under the bus? All right, I won't say which. I think we are. I won't say which employer it is, but I had like full on like a fight with our HR department because I found out that they were just filtering resumes from getting to my desk because they didn't have computer science degrees, and I was like, that's complete BS. Like, if I saw a resume, I was like, this is the person I'd want to hire. Look at their experience, and our HR department was like, well, it's for an engineering position. We require a computer science degree. So I can't tell you that that doesn't ever happen. It's just unfortunately the way that some companies are, but companies are getting a lot better. And like my current company and a lot of the startups like don't care about that anymore. They know that talent is talent, and it doesn't matter what your pedigree or background is.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. How hard do you think it would be for us to like transition as like into computer or cybersecurity if like we wanted to do like learn like skills in that area? How hard do you think it would be to transition into that?
Well, I think the good news is everything's transitioning into cybersecurity. Kind of like what I said in the beginning of like software engineers are security engineers, whether you plan to be one or not. I do think that's the way the industry is trending. I don't think that we're going to lose dedicated security people, but I do think that everyone's going to be exposed and doing more cybersecurity work in the future. So if you are working or planning to work as a software engineer or a developer at any company in the future, you will be doing cybersecurity work. Fact, like I think that's just my prediction. Now, if you want to transition into like a dedicated security role, I don't think that is unreachable or too difficult to do either. I haven't really talked about it. I know that today the talks were very much focused on penetration testing, but cybersecurity is a gigantic industry, and there's lots of different ways to get your foot in the door, and there's lots of different needs and positions within cybersecurity. So there's the offensive side of security, which includes things like penetration testing, security research, red teaming. There's the equally important defensive side of security, which I think is really cool. I cannot do. I have mad respect for the people who can because they know so much more than me, which is, the forensic investigations, the active and actively detecting and preventing and finding attackers and APTs. There's a whole spectrum of like blue team cybersecurity. There's risk-based positions, like governance, risk, and compliance that look holistically at organizations and maybe do big picture security risk reviews. There's security architects, which aren't down in the code, but are planning like the overall architecture of an organization. I'm just trying to say that there's a lot of different avenues to get into cybersecurity besides just pen testing, which is what I've done and what I've focused on. But that none of them are impossible to get into. I mean, no one got started. No one's had like just a straight path into cybersecurity. Like, oh, that's what I was born for. It's what I went to school for, and I've been cybersecurity. I think you talk to everyone in my industry, and everyone I talk to has come at it from a different approach. Whether they're real estate finance like majors like myself that just had like fun hobbies, or people who started as developers, people who started as sysadmins, help desk, ex-military and law enforcement, maybe got exposed to some and came in that way. There's tons of paths in.
I've heard that some employers are more willing to train a software engineer to transition into cybersecurity than cybersecurity to transition into software engineering.
1000%. Yep. Actually, that's a great point. It actually, in my opinion, it is easier to teach security to like a developer or an engineer than it is to try to teach development or engineering to someone who's only ever done security. And it's actually kind of hard to find someone who's only ever done security because it's not like the industry's been around that long. But at Motorola Solutions where I was, we just stopped even trying to hire dedicated security people for my AppSec team. We instead just went after developers who had an interest and a passion in security, with our mindset being, if you know your stuff, if you know code, you know how web apps work, you know how to like do this, we'll teach you security just like we kind of did today. We can just teach you security on top of that, and you'll be a better pen tester than someone that we bring in that's like purely a pen tester but doesn't know web development. And that worked very well for us. We had great success, and some of the best pen testers and security engineers I worked with started off purely as just web developers who had an interest in security.
Awesome, thank you.
Cool. Well, then, yeah, I hope, like I said at the very beginning, I'm super happy to always do this training. I do think you all have a step up already in whatever career or path you want to take. You're learning web development, you're learning really good foundational technologies and languages, and you're learning security on top of that. You've got a lot of opportunities in front of you to go, focus on any specialty that you want. But just having security knowledge and having a program like this that recognizes security is important to be taught as part of a curriculum is awesome. Definitely kudos to Code Platoon and all of you going through this.
All right, awesome. Ronnie, thanks a lot for that great workshop. I can say from past cohorts, they ranked this workshop one of the most engaging and most informational. So yeah, thanks again for coming back to Code Platoon. Hoping the students enjoyed the labs and all the knowledge that you supply them with. Yeah, if you guys have any final questions for Ronnie, feel free to ask. But otherwise, Ronnie, thanks again for that great workshop.
Yeah, thank you all again for having me. Anything comes up, I'm available. Email, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can connect with me. Slides and challenges are going to be up too, so feel free to keep working and happy hacking.